TV show, and we gladly welcome you to the show this morning. My name is Chidima Oranwa.
My name is Obin Nikesho.
All right, this morning we are starting the show by bringing your way the stories that are trending on our national dailies. But first, we'll start with stories we have on ABS website. And our reviewer is already seated in the studio with us this morning. But we got to take a short break. When we come back, you meet our reviewers and we go straight into discussion. So stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. And our guest this morning is Simon Wafo Ezo Former. He is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Chidima. Good morning, the Anambra, and all our viewers. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, quickly, let's start with the stories on our website this morning. And the first story we have is Anambra State government sets up a committee on new minimum wage. Police foil kidnap attempt in Agua rescue victim. Possible artificial flooding as work advances on resuscitation of Greater Onitsha water supply scheme. Soludo reassures of rescuing kidnapped lawyer goes after killers of hour as MBA protests in Oka. Okay, interesting stories on our website this morning.
Very, very interesting. Almost all of them are captures, each one of them captures the mind.
Yes.
And let me start with the first one, that is committee to deliberate on
for the new minimum wage.
Yes, because neighbor, they used to say, Kutebo na de onyoya mosisi wenyiti isi. I know that is the problem of the society. Everyone is interested, or the whole nation is concerned now about the plight of the ordinary citizens and the workers, by extension, all citizens. So I thank God that they are trying to resolve it with, the other day I was listening to some analysts. Somebody was making an opinion that it is what the labor is saying may not be visible as following reality. But yet, every reasonable human being, we know that there is need to increase the workers' income. Because how can you offer somebody 48,000 in this present condition? You are playing.
Is it about how much people have been paid, or the purchasing power of the country?
That is the point. The point is following the reality, the situation on ground. If we have checked if all things are as they ought to be, even 20,000 can be enough for a worker. Because if we are in a society where you have a steady supply of water, steady supply of electricity, you have this, you have all the amenities, then what are you spending on? Maybe you have a public transport that we carry the worker from your distance to your office and back. Then what are you spending on? Maybe to purchase a green and eat your food. So even in some nations, you see that the unemployed are made provision for. So if you have a dependent who is unemployed, the government can be giving some stipends. So their income will not be wasted on unnecessarily. But since we don't have that, then we must do of what we have, and that is by being reasonable. I think the analyst was saying that the NLC have tried by coming down, showing that they want to come to a compromise. Then the government ought to, but moving from 48 to, from 40, 50, this to 50, putting 1,000, 2,000, it seems as if we are selling crayfish. So if you want to increase, at least you put 10,000, 20,000, then we start to negotiate.
So some are saying the amount is quite outrageous, looking at above 400, 500,000.
That's what I'm saying. NLC had made some adjustments showing that if government moves up a bit, then the NLC, then the burden is shifted to. That is how you do negotiation. If government moves up now, the burden is shifted to this. The NLC will be expected to come down a bit until they come to a compromise. But what I'm saying, we must show sincerity of purpose. We must show that we are serious. And then, why saying that it is true that the amount they are mentioning, but they have said it because of the situation on ground and because of what the politicians are taking. If we want to address, if we want to be serious with ourselves, what prevents all the political office holders from slashing their emoluments and their allowances so that the masses, the plight of the masses can be addressed?
To the politicians or in the federal level, because state level there is no fixed price on how much these people, the appointees, are being paid.
That the legislators, even in the national and even at that national, the governors are taking security allowances. The legislators in the State House of Assembly are taking. They will take their salaries, and none of them will not be enough to pay over 100 to 200 workers.
All right, that's the security situation in Anambra State.
That is another interesting area.
Attempted kidnapping in Aguata, and also the lawyers being kidnapped, one killed. Would you think the state is doing enough when it comes to security?
I think we must commend the state government and the security agencies, but we must say that there is need for improvement. That is the truth. Because they said that the test of the building is in the eating. Whenever you are making effort, it is from the result that people will judge. So the security agencies, you cannot say that they are not making effort. The state government, the governor is putting a lot. But the result, when you wear a white garment like I'm wearing now, a little drop, a little spot where oil is on it, that is where people will see. So even if, look at, I was listening to the news and the analysts, even in Enugu, in the southeast, Anambra is being taken now as a reference point to show that security is not all that good in the southeast. So we must opt our distance. So I thank, let me commend them for the effort in that Aguata issue. You know why? I was telling some people just this week that the best way to defend is to attack. If you ask footballers, if you ask boxers, if you ask the best way to defend is to attack. If you want to defend anything and make sure and get it protected, then carry the fight to your enemy's camp. So to be proactive, as they have pursued the rescued the kidnappers. I was interested when they said the police did not stop. They continued pursuing them until they abandoned their vehicle and ran into the bush. And then they must continue to get them. Why? If they had stopped that way, because this victim is rescued, they will stop another victim and they kidnap him. But when you take the fight to the enemy's camps, there is no way. The only solution is for them to escape to another location.
All right, while we commend the state government, we also want to commend the new CP, Etang Obong, for what he's doing in Anambra State, his technology-driven approach and all that to, arrest these criminals.
That's why
we saw what happened in Oba, the notorious 18-year-old criminal, Anechebe, that was arrested in Oba. And he has named members of his gang, and the police, they are already working on that to see how they can catch up with those criminals. So to some extent, we say that the security agency with the state government, that they are really trying their best to see that we have a more secured state. But all we are saying is that as Oliver Twist, we still
need some more.
Yes. All right, quickly.
Kudos to the new commissioner of police.
Yes, exactly. So let's see the first paper we have this morning.
All right, on the first paper, we've got the Punch newspaper. All right, on the Punch, we've got Lagos Calabar Highway, a really very controversial headline there. 750 houses for demolition as property owners allege poor compensation. And a kicker to that, we've got Tinubu to flag off project Sunday, ministry to demolish buildings based on Gazette. All right, still on the Punch, we've got Kano Emirates Governor reinstates Sanusi over 4-year deposition as Assembly sacks Emir, and a kicker to that. Yusuf orders deposed emirs to vacate official residences, palaces in 48 hours, and that's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Then we'll still got on the Punch, IOCs to invest $20 billion in Nigeria, according to the federal government. 50 firms may produce military weapons locally, coming from the minister. All right, still on that, we've got 19.4 billion naira fraud. Sirika brother gets 200 million naira bail. And we also have Grandma Berry's 17-year-old daughter's newborn alive. Very unfortunate. We also have NNPC partners deploy electric vehicle charging stations, and that's on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. And finally on the Punch, we've got ASU protest, Tinubu orders review of university governing councils, and that's on page 29. Rather, I didn't see that clearly. It's all in the Punch newspaper.
All right, these are the stories we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Over to you, Simon. Which one would you want to talk about this morning?
Yes, I think most of them. Let me start by saying that one point I captured when they were being mentioned is that the problem we are having in this nation is policy somersault. If you look at the issue of Emir of Kano, if you look at the issue of appointment of governing councils of universities and polytechnics, it's not supposed to be so. It is not supposed to be so. Now, you see that politicians are only interested in personal interest, show of power torture. Otherwise, look at it now. The former Emir of Kano was deposed because for a political interest clash. Now, the emirate was divided into, there's some people installed. Now, a new system is in order now. All of them are to vacate their positions. And then the former who has been traveling as giving this is now reinstalled. Why we don't have strong institutions. There ought to be defined method where how things should go. It's not when my interest is at stake or I want this. Look at what is happening in Rivers State. Look at the whole. That is why we don't move forward. That is the problem. Even if when they are taking, the other day I was saying it in the studio, when they were taking oath of office, what they said is that in the oath of office and oath of allegiance is that your personal interest must not clash with the interest of your office. If you are abiding by that, whether the person is your friend or the interest of the nation and the interest of your office is supposed to supersede your personal interest. Not when somebody is not your friend or this thing. Then you do everything under the moon to make sure that you thwart the system, you bring confusion, and we cannot move forward. Look at the River State. For almost how many months now? Nothing is happening. Today, this person will be sacked. Today, they will resign. Tomorrow, they will reinstate. That is unfortunate. So look, that of Emir of Kano, I will say congratulations to him. But I will maintain that let us play the game according to rules. That of, look at this thing now, the Calabar, Lagos, this thing. Peter Obi was airing his opinion. I think we are saying, the other day I was arguing with somebody in the studio there. He was supporting the policy. We are not against the development, the capital projects also, but the method by which it is done. It is clear that the president's interest, because the son of the president is one of the directors in the company. And then the thing was done in a shoddy way. No formal process was taken, and no formal procedure was followed. And no, there was no advertisement for tender. I was saying that even if you want to do such a thing, at least you would have done what is expected. Justice must be seen to be done. You can ask people to put a then you have made up your mind. And look at the money that is involved, money that we are borrowing. That is not our supposed to be our priority number one now. It is good, but it is not. Look at the monumental damage. How many things that will be destroyed in order to achieve that purpose, benefit.
Of course, the 750 houses that will be destroyed, the owners of these houses are saying that they are being poorly compensated.
That is the point. That is the point I'm making. Now, they are even compensating them, even if it is 1,000 to 2,000, upon our economy, upon the money that will be used to finance that project is to be borrowed.
All right. Now, the federal government seems to have, come to understand that probably they have made a mistake. And I reported that they've turned back to say they are not going to continue with that coastal highway thereabout. But reactions. So, what's your reaction on that?
Have you not seen now that my first comment captures the whole policy somersault? Even in Enugu State now, it is the same thing going on. The governor is destroying something, and some people are criticizing it. He said he wants to. So that is the point. And look at now the appointment of governing council. All these things, policy somersault. The governing council's appointment is overdue. The president has not sat down to do that. Now you do it in a hurriedly way, and then making mistakes here and there. Then coming back to say that you will review because the polytechnic lecturers are protest. That is not supposed to be so. We are not putting the round peg in a round hole. We are not. That is why some of us are worried when you don't have the proper person. Competence should be the watchword. The proper person who should sit down, who should know what to do. Some people was saying about the other day about to review his ministers in this 1 year distance, because some of them are not fit in their position. Some of them are misfit in where they are put, and they don't. That's why they don't know the proper thing to be done.
All right. So we're moving to the next news paper. All right, on the Daily Independent. On the Daily Independent, we have a federal government least oil sector achievement targets $20 billion investment this year. On the kicker to that, we've got says it has made Nigeria a big draw for global investors. Tinubu laying solid foundations to reduce cost of living. While still on Daily Independent, we've got the post-Sanusi returns to the throne as Emir of Kano. And we also have reps pass bill to revert to old national anthem. Senate refers 1960 anthem to committee. Tinubu orders review of governing councils of tertiary institutions after protest. And we'll have sacked staff engaged in $600,000 ticket racketeering according to Turkish Airlines. All right, as long as the Daily Independent, we've got alleged 19.4 billion naira fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika brother reigned gets 100 million naira bail each. The other newspaper said 200. This is saying 100. All right. I won't stop contesting for presidency as long as I am healthy. This is coming from Atiku. Tinubu should tell Nigerians true position of things, says Body Judge. We are committed to efficiency in tax collection, not increasing burden of Nigerians. This is coming from Shetima. PDP reps accused Damagum of plots to reinstate pro-Wike lawmakers and reverse into party. This is what we have on the Independent.
Okay. Just as I was saying, now the concern about all these things is whenever anybody used to say, Idobie, Zokwaba, or Dezuzi, whenever you cut and start to join again, all these policies, somersault, and so on and so forth. Like I had the other day, the UNIZIC that their convocation lecture, this thing is cut because of the supposed council members are to be sworn in. Now, the thing is now shifted or congested to one day. And if now there is to be reviewed, maybe you have announced some persons' names and so on and so on. People have shifted their distance. So the economy is affected. Everything is affected. Then you are now changing it. The same thing as you mentioned about the people to be compensated about the road, the distance, Calabar, Lagos distance. Now, if they stop that now, or the people are not fully compensated, even if they stop that now, we have wasted some resources. We have wasted time. We have something that ought to have been planned very well. Look at what we are saying about now, that the true position. Some people are now alleging that subsidy is still going on, that the fuel is still being subsidized. The presidency, but that is what you entered the first day and say subsidy is gone. Now there is confusion everywhere. There is hardship, hunger, suffering, anguish by the people. Yet nobody knows the true position now because people are alleging. Even this enough kind of said it, and so many notable Nigerians said it. Considering the price of fuel shows that the fuel is still being subsidized. The other day they discussed about cement, and today cement has not gone down. So that will show you that we are actually in a mess. As Bode George said, that the presidency, they should be truthful enough to tell Nigerians the true position. That is why I like people like Bode George, Kuka, people who say the truth, who say the things as they are. What they say is what they mean, and what they mean is what they say.
Is it the same Kuka that said that 1 year is not enough for us to judge the president?
He said, yes, I had it. I had it. But following when you go inside there, I pity.
So you're saying that probably when you go inside there to see the president, you sing a new song?
No.
Something different from what you're saying right now?
No, he went there and told the president the truth.
Okay.
But yet, you wouldn't expect him as a reasonable man to come out and crucify him. What we just use wisdom.
But if you have followed in place.
No, if you had followed his comments and his observation on any issue, you will say that even right from before he was made a bishop, when he was a reverend father as the secretary, the only thing is that he went in there and they heard what he told the president, that people are suffering. But he wouldn't expect him, even if now I am to see the president and to see the governor. You must be diplomatic in your answer.
You know, sometimes you feel that some of these religious leaders that they talk from both sides of the mouth. But then again, just like you say, you have to use diplomacy.
You have to use diplomacy.
Okay.
That's what if he starts to change, we will observe. But as for that one, I had it.
Okay.
But I will spare him on that.
Okay, you spare him. All right. Quickly, what do you also have to say about reps passing the bill to revert to the old national anthem?
The same thing we are saying. That is, this is not the first time the thing is surfacing. In the last the National Assembly, they mentioned it also. I think even before that, the people have been saying that though the old national anthem is better than the new one. Because if you look at the words of the national, the meaning, the people have been saying that this one is more of a disco. But they surfaced the other time, and later they killed it.
let's look at the circumstances around the national anthem. Now the old one was more like imposed on Nigerians, written by the colonial masters, and then the Nigerian, the one we know, the current one was written by Nigerians. And when one of the reasons why it was adopted by the Olusegun Obasanjo government as at then was to make it more Nigerian. Yes, for Nigerians to connect with it. And since then, I think when you look at the lyrics, what was written in that national anthem, it connects with Nigerians. And now we have to reorient ourselves with going back to what it is. Now, why do you think it was so important for the government, for the National Assembly, for the legislators to go back to the old?
Well, what you said is very correct. But the way I'm seeing it is people who are of that opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, the only thing, whether the old one or new one, the main thing is our sense of patriotism. If we are patriotic enough, both the first one and the second one, yes, it is true that we ought to, eschew everything about the white man and their colonization. But when people who are saying the old one is because of the meaning attached to the old, and it calls for patriotism, unity. Nigeria, we held our own dear fatherland, though tribe and tongue. You see meaning in it. Some of us grew with it. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And that is why something like NYSC and so on and so forth, those things were inaugurated and they was being pursued until we started falling apart. If you look at the present stage now.
Okay, you're saying that if we go back to the old one, probably things will get better. We start professing with our mouth.
Attaching, attention and the purposeful destiny to it.
Well, because I don't know how that is going to happen, because most of the people, as in grown people in our society, they don't even know even the present national anthem. It's just for students to sing that in school.
That is where I was coming. When we were growing, you must know the national anthem and national pledge. Okay. All these things were indoctrinated. Even if as a youth corper, even if as a graduate, you cannot get work without. I think there was a minister that was invited in National Assembly that time. They asked him the second stanza of the national anthem. Even after the first stanza, the second stanza. So these things were being done to inculcate into us the sense of patriotism, the sense of dedication, our commitment to that. Is why NYC and so on and so forth. But if you look at what is happening today, that's because the leaders allowed the center not to hold again, and things fell apart.
Is this going to get a fall in the economy? Will this actually affect positively?
That's why I said whether the first one or the second one, that is not our priority now.
Exactly the point. That is
not our priority now.
So all we need to do is
the only thing is orientate ourselves. If the leaders who are debating on that, if they are serious, they show by example. Then when we have taken care of the first step 1, step 2, to put our economy in shape, to show that they want this station to move. Then if you tell people to show that they will listen to you.
Okay.
But a hungry man has no time to recite the old national anthem.
Thank you so much for that submission. So let's quickly see the papers, the This Day and the Nation's newspaper. We are taking them together because of want of time. The This Day newspaper first. Sanusi reinstatement in Kano's best interest, says Governor Yusuf. That's the big story in the front page of This Day newspaper. Shetima, Tinubu's administration has secured over $20 billion in potential investments. FX inflows in first quarter 2024 reached 136% of total 2023 inflows, says Cardoso, that's the CBN governor. MBS to rebase GDP, inflation estimates to capture new economic frontiers. Akume, difficult choices been made by our government to prevent collapse of system. Still under the Sanusi's restatement, the riders there. orders Bayero siblings to vacate office in 48 hours. Court stops reinstatement, orders government to maintain status quo. First Bank of Nigeria Holdings declare 359 billion naira profit before tax in 2023 FY. Okay, we can also see the picture in front of that place. Okay, quickly let's see the Nation newspaper. Our ministerial stewardship by Badaru, Wike, Alake, and others. Then Muhammad Sanusi reinstated as Kano Emir. NAS, NAUS, NAPTON, orders hail student loan. Alleged 3.5 billion naira fraud. Court finds fixes May 28 for Sirika's brother trial. Okay.
On the Guardian, we have 1 year of renewed hope. And that's the banner headline there. Tinubu's costly reforms leave Nigerians on edge 1 year after. And we also have ministers give Tinubu pass mark amidst rising inflation, subsidies, and insecurity. We also have concerns over inactive $252 million Intel facility missing at, okay, sorry about that. Concerns over inactive $252 million Intel facility. Missing info on NCC dashboard. 10-year economic rot can be corrected in 12 months. This is coming from, okay, Sanusi cautions, all right. Senate to probe 11,856 abandoned projects across Nigeria after Guardian report. EFCC dogs former Aviation Minister Sirika, brother in fresh 10-count charge. Also have reps bill to revert to old national anthem. As Sanusi returns, anxiety, uncertainty in Kano over fate of the post.
All right. I think we need to talk about this. This is returning as the Emir of Kano. We see what we have on the front page of this day newspaper. They are ordering, of course, they've ordered Bayero and siblings to vacate the palace in 48 hours. But then, court is stopping the reinstatement. What is going on in Kano State?
That's what I'm saying. Look at all over. Look at in River State. Look at even the railway workers in Enugu State are saying that they will go to court because of the demolition. That's what I'm saying. Policy somersault. Going one step forward, 2 steps backward. All these things now. Time the people will take to sit down to plan about how to govern the state as well. They will waste it in going to court, servicing their interest and so on and so forth. And I have mentioned it. If we have strong institutions and if we play the game according to rules, if we have streamlined method of doing things, there's no need of today you remove, tomorrow you go to court. The same thing happens in our election and so on and so forth. Because we are moving back and front, some people will go and mess the election up. Then we go to court, as people have been saying. 2 or 3 judges will sit down and they mess up the whole system, the whole effort people have put into coming out to vote. They will just look at what happened in Plateau State. So that is the point. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate if we are actually following, we are sincere about our commitment to the national unity, the betterment of the nation. But if we are just there to make friends, to service our interest, to buy influence, it is unfortunate. Then another thing that amused me.
Just quickly, because we don't have time again.
The last thing that I would like to talk about is Tinubu's minister saying that he has tried, despite what I summarized in my mind is whoever examines himself will pass. That is what I was saying before. Look at the biting economic hardship and so on and so forth. Even some people send it in my phone for it to be touched. Now, but they are giving pass mark to their Oga and themselves. Even many of them, like Minister for Power and so on and so forth, with all that is happening, you get somebody who is a banker or they make him Minister for Power. You get somebody who is not experienced in one ministry or in one direction or one profession and put him there. Then you'll be messing things up. And that's why we are not moving forward. We are not moving. Look at the electricity tariff, and there's no power, nothing. So it's unfortunate.
All right, we have to go because we still have other things for you this morning in our Breakfast TV show. And we want to say a very big thank you to you, Simon Nwafor Ezofoma, for being part of the press review this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you, our viewers and everybody around. May we continue to have faith that once there is life, there is hope, and that tomorrow will be better. Thank you very much.
All right, that's it on the press review. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Thank you so much.
My name is Obina. Bye for now.